Hey you guys, Pham here with TVRG Homes. I have Sara Rodriguez with me with Titan Title. How are you, Sara?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing great. I'm doing great. So obviously we're in some uncertain times right now. With the whole COVID-19 thing going on and all the stay-at-home orders and all things like that. Some buyers though are able to take advantage of this time and possibly get into that home that they weren't able to before, just because of all how competitive things were before. Obviously, us at TVRG Homes, we're 100% practicing social distancing. We do a lot of virtual showings and things like that. So that's where I would go into the home, and I'd like FaceTime you or some kind of video conferencing where I'd show you the home, and you can be in the safety and comfort of your own home while I tour the house. Now comes the issue of, okay, so we found your home. How do we close on your house while still being safe? So something that a lot of things that are coming out now that we can do are e-closings. So I guess to start off, Sara, is this something we can do anywhere and anywhere, or is there any certain restrictions to that?
That's a great question, Al. So yes, you guys, real estate professionals, have actually revolutionized how we are going and purchasing and selling homes where everything is virtual. And then you come to closing, right? So let me start by saying that it depends where you're closing. Virginia 100% allows electronic signing and electronic notarizations, okay? So if you're buying or selling in Virginia, you're 100% go. Now there's a caveat to all of this, but we're going to talk about that later. Maryland had not allowed this, but they just issued an order saying that until the pandemic is over and they lift the stay-at-home orders, that they're allowing e-signatures and e-notarizations. Now DC, and of course things change every day, right? Because they're trying to make things a little bit easier for everybody. But DC so far until this date does not allow e-signatures and e-notarizations.
Okay, yeah, but that changes every day. So of course, stay tuned. We'll be updating you with anything that changes.
Absolutely.
So it depends where, basically. So what is it like? What is the difference between that, an e-closing, and a regular closing?
So I love that question. Now, another thing to note, Al, that's very important is just because the state allows you to e-close doesn't mean that your lender might allow you to e-close, right? And we'll talk about that because a lot of the times people say, well, I know Virginia allows me to e-close and I want to do an e-closing. And what does that mean? E-closing in itself, a lot of people get it confused with e-recordations. Most, if not all states and all jurisdictions allow you to e-record, which is just after you close, the documents that are supposed to be recorded in the courthouse get sent electronically to the courthouse, and boom, you're the owner. E-closing means that the person is logging into a secure platform, e-signing their documents, and an e-notary that is has become an e-notary by the state is notarizing all these documents for you. Now, again, just because that's what an e-closing is and the state allows it doesn't mean that you can still do an e-closing because it depends on your lender.
Okay. So yeah, I guess it all depends on where you live. In Virginia, you're all right. And if your lender will allow it. Am I getting that right?
You're absolutely 100% correct. So typically what we see is lenders come in three varieties, right? You have the ones that state, you know what, unfortunately, the lender is not allowing e-closings right now. So they want you to do wet signatures. And wet signature just means ink to paper. So what we're doing to safeguard is, number one, you can still come to a closing office. Everybody should be wearing masks and gloves, and you'll be signing in the office. Or number two, you can go through all of your documents through Zoom, but not sign, okay? And then come in your car, stay in your car, and the notary can come outside and watch you sign in your car those documents so that they can notarize it. So that's a form of doing some social distancing closing. That's for those lenders that don't allow e-closings. A lot of the lenders are okay with that and they prefer that. Now, some lenders, and you and I were talking about they're allowing hybrid closings, e-closings. What that means is that for the majority of the loan package, the buyer can log in into a very secure portal and e-sign the majority of his documents, but there's certain documents that they still want with wet signatures, which again is ink to paper. So they do the majority of the work online, and then they go to the title company to be able to sign those few documents that are left. And then we're left with the very few that actually allow e-closings completely. Now, Al, what I can tell you is in my experience with these e-closings is that they are not for everybody. Even if your lender allows you to do an e-closing, make sure that you're tech savvy, make sure that your computer is set up. These portals, because an e-closing means that you're going to go into this very secure portal and you're going to e-sign all of your loan documents, and somebody's going to e-notarize those documents for you. So you never have to leave your house. And this can be quite complicated.
Yeah, I bet for someone not as tech savvy as you or I, yeah, I can definitely see how it could be a scary thing. And I know a lot of people still feel like it's unsecure because you're signing a pretty important document right now, and having that go through the internet, that might not be it might not be as easy to some people, but I definitely would say, like, of course, I know Titan Title, they do a fantastic job with keeping everything secure and making sure everything's done in a correct fashion.
Well, and you bring a great point, right? Because we need to all make sure that all of this is so safe and that you are who you say you are, because let's be honest, a lot of us don't look like we looked pre-quarantine. So even if I look at, my ID, you might not be able to recognize me. So in order for this platform to be 100% secure and safe and make sure that you are who you say you are, they do ask a lot of security questions that only you should be able to answer. So my tip for people who want to do e-closings, if the lender allows it, your jurisdiction allows it, and your title company set up for it, log yourself in about 30 minutes before closing so that you can make sure that you have everything that the platform requires, that you've answered all of your questions, you've submitted your ID for validation, so that then you can have a smooth experience.
Cool. Yeah. So basically, if you guys are in the market, like, this is definitely a time to be active if that's something that you're into, if you're looking for a home right now. Definitely think about e-closings. I know social distancing is like the new thing to do right now, and especially everybody's safe. So this is definitely something you might want to pursue if your lender allows it, and if the jurisdiction that you're living in or going to be moving to allows it. If you have any questions, concerns, feel free to contact either Sarah or I. I'll leave our contact information in the description below. And until then, thank you guys. Thank you, Sarah.
Bye.